Bells and Bows, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be showing each other clips from our favorite meet cutes on TV. And I'm here with my friend and movie and TV critic, May, and she's going to be telling you guys why we're doing this because this is all her idea. So
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of meet cutes, I think it's one of my favorite rom-com tropes. It has a lot going for it because it can be very fluffy, it makes you feel good. You know, it's like the beginning of something great in rom-coms usually. But with television relationships, that's usually not the case. Like there's usually no meet cute at all. And these characters either know each other or they're already in like some sort of established friendship or relationship or whatnot. So I thought it would be a fun challenge to do this for the video because then we can kind of see which scenes we can come up with because it can be very difficult. So Cuckoo has chosen her scene, though don't know what it is, and it's going to be a surprise.
yes, I refuse to tell her. I told her I was torn between two different ones. Actually, I had a few that came to mind. I wanted her to talk about why she did this because it's funny that you say that because when you told me you wanted to do TV meet cutes, like what you just said was exactly the reaction I had in my head because I was like, what TV meet cutes? There aren't even really like that's not even a TV thing because like you said, I started like racking my brain for like the couples that I really like, and I'm like, a lot of them are couples that already knew each other technically before the show started, so they never had a meet cute. So it was like, what shows? And then like when they do have meet cutes on TV, it's usually not a big moment, like compared to all the other moments that they have. So and honestly, it's like you said that it's a trope that you like. I don't actually like the meet cute trope. Like it doesn't really do much for me. I
I
don't
mean, it's
think.
very rare that I like it, but when it is like done really well, it can be very good.
Yeah. Honestly, I just don't feel like it's it's not that it's not done well. I just don't think the concept of meet cutes is as cute of me as people make it out to be. Like I think it's true to life. Like most of the times when we meet people, honestly, the way we meet people is just really not all that interesting. Like we met at
True.
school or we met at, a
I
party
would
or
disagree with the way we met was a cute meet cute.
it was a
It's
normal
not
meet cute.
okay,
We
it's
met in
not
a
cute,
cafeteria.
but it was a something memorable, I should say.
It was a perfectly normal mundane thing that if you saw on a TV show, it would not be like a memorable moment, like it's memorable to us because it meant something, but in general, it's like we met just sitting at a table and talking like
Yeah.
any normal human beings. So I don't really think meet cutes are like that big of a deal just because it's normal the way people meet each other, like, and if you're having a memorable meet cute, it's usually something that's so over dramatic that it's like not even like realistic, that it becomes kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So like we don't need the dramatic like rom-com. Oh, like, I tripped in the middle of the street and he caught me and saved me from a
Well,
car
that's
that drove
dramatic.
off. Like, that's, that was like the wedding planner, right? Like
That's true, it was.
that type of stuff is unnecessary. But that's the whole rom-com thing. We don't do that on TV. On TV, it's a little bit more realistic. So I really had a hard time even finding or thinking of anything that was noteworthy. But so before we actually like say which ones we picked, I want us to say if we have any honorable mentions. Last time we did we mentioned a few honorable mentions. For me personally, when I was like racking my brain about this, I was like, what would I even consider a meet cute on TV? Like, because it's something I don't particularly care for. And one of the things that came to my mind personally was that one of my favorite meet cutes is actually because I love characters who were friends for a really long time. As we stated, like a lot of these shows are usually shows where they started off already being friends. But a lot of those shows will do flashbacks to when they were children and they met as children.
Mhm.
So I do like the ones where they show their meet cute as kids because that's adorable, but I also don't like, I wouldn't show it in the sense that usually kids are terrible child actors, and it's not it's not a well acted scene, but it's adorable conceptually. So the two meet cutes I want to shout out
Oh,
that
you
are,
have two. Okay.
one is that 70s show, the meet cute, it was between Donna and main character whose name I just blanked out on.
For shame. This is
Eric.
your favorite, one of your favorite
Eric.
meet cutes, and you can't remember the name.
Well, I mean, I'm going off of Meet Cute, and
I know.
like I like that 70s show, but it's not like it's one of my favorite shows or anything. But Eric and Donna, their Meet Cute, basically, literally the extent of it was that they meet as little kids when she moves in next door, and like she comes up to him, he's immediately in love with her, and is just like staring at her, and she basically is like, "What you looking at?" and then punches him in the stomach. So it's just funny, and it's very characteristic of their entire relationship. So I like that one. And the other childhood meet cute that I appreciate is our favorite show, Boy Meets World.
Yay.
Even though they kept changing up their
I
story,
know. It was so inconsistent.
but honestly, all of the stories they made up were good. So I'm okay with any of them. And that one I appreciate also because I'm not even thinking of the meet cute just between Topanga and Corey, because I don't even know if they showed that, but between Corey and Sean, because that's one of the things I actually wanted to ask is like, can you have a meet cute with a friend, not a romantic partner? Because
I mean, I didn't specify, so sure.
so because I thought that was a really, like, I think, you know, Corey and Sean's relationship in a lot of ways was much more adorable even than Corey and Topanga's relationship. And they have like their own meet cute moment, and they had a very romantic type friendship anyway, so it kind of works. So yeah, I think those were two honorable mentions I just wanted to throw out.
I think
Did you
like
have
off the top of my head, we discussed this last week, but probably like Amy and Jonah, because like their whole they didn't know each other before the show started, and that whole series premiere was a meet cute for them. So, and I thought that was
yeah,
really cute because he does the whole stars for her, and that was like a really nice introduction to the relationship and like a nice introduction to each other. So,
yeah.
I think as far as like meet cutes go, because they are very rare, but that was a really
I
fun
actually
and
did, in
memorable one.
researching this, I did rewatch their actual moment when they meet each other, and it is a really cute meet cute moment because it's very typical of Jonah, because when he meets her, I don't know if you remember this, but when he meets her, she wasn't wearing her supervisor vest, and so he
Oh
assumed
yeah.
a random person. And so he starts talking to her and is like, "Oh, you know, I just started working here or whatever." And he's being condescending to her. And
And then
basically,
she
like,
puts on her vest, right? And
yeah,
he's like, "Oh my god!" And she's a supervisor.
exactly. And no, it was like one of the other characters had like come up to her and asked her a question, and he realizes she's the supervisor, and so she's just, and then he realizes what he just did, and so that was really funny moment actually for their relationship. But yeah, I think, okay. So that, wait, did you have another one you wanted to say?
No, not off the top of my head anyway. I would have to do
Well,
some research as well.
pressure is on. Okay. Um, let's see. Well, okay. I was torn between two because, so I guess the honorable mention would be the one that I'm not going to show now, which I kind of really want to show because I really love it too. But I was going to choose, again, kind of going back to like the concept of both friendship and romantic things like intertwining. I was going to choose the meet cute moment for New Girl when they all meet Jess in the first episode in the loft, but then also when they meet Cece in that same episode a little while later. I rewatched that whole thing, and it was just really funny, and I loved it mostly because Schmidt was being hilarious. Honestly, the rest of them were just being normal, but Schmidt's interactions were just hilarious, and the way Jess was just like, I thought you were all going to be girls. It was, I think, for me, like, obviously that was, I guess, the beginning of Jess and Nick, and also Cece and Schmidt, but just the dynamic of them as friends to me is more important even than their romantic relationships with each other. I think that's one of the best shows that just characterizes people who live together and are friends, and that was like the beginning of their friendship. So that was my runners up.
Nice.
But the one I'm going to pick is one of my favorite romantic couples of recent times. I don't know what I'm saying. And yeah, let me put up the clip. You're going to immediately know exactly what I'm doing.
Oh.
As host disabled, participant screen sharing.
What?
How dare thee?
Oh, hold
How
on.
dare thee
How
not?
about try now?
Thanks a lot. Okay. Yeah, now it's working. Thank you. And let's see which one you guys think is better, because you're gonna
That's
be
not
hard
fair.
you're gonna be hard pressed to top this one, May. Ready for this?
Oh, this is cute.
And look at me. Oh, that's good. That's good. Closer. Closer.
Yeah, we had an appointment this morning.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2. Oh, that was good. Remind me, are you here for a photo series or travel planning, or our newest service, closet organization?
I'm here to file my incorporation papers for my business.
Oh, that's right. Patrick, B13.
This is for you. Patrick, David Rose, you bought the general store. Leased the general store, yeah. It's a big deal. Is that? Yeah, it's pretty big. Hey, you want to have a seat?
Your parents tell me you're very sporty, so Will, why don't you grab the paddle and Lisa, badminton racket?
So, why don't we start with the name of the business? Oh, I'm oscillating between two names at the moment, so if we could just leave that one blank, that would be great.
Okay,
Sure.
like each other.
Give you more time to oscillate. Business address. Okay, so I'm working on that. I'm currently staying in a motel, and I think it might be confusing if I gave you the address to another business. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, look at her.
We'll leave that blank as well.
Look at me. Okay, look at her and look at
Betting 1,000 here, David. I don't know what that means. Hey, here's an easy one. Brief description of the business. Well, it's a general store, but it's also a very specific store. And it's also not just a store. It's like a place where people can come and get coffee or drinks, but it's not a coffee shop, nor is it a bar.
Okay, so we're pretty clear on what it's not.
Yeah, it's an environment. And yes, we will be selling.
I just wanted to point out real quick that weird cactus that's in the background. I don't know why that just popped out at me.
Things, but it's
I'm just
like
like,
a branded immersive experience.
that's not even a real thing. I don't know what that
I love
is.
the buzzwords, David, but I do need to
That's so funny.
put them down here. Okay, you couldn't use anything I just said.
Tell you what, why don't you take these home with you and just fill them out when you have a clearer idea of what you want to do with your business.
Okay. I do have a clear idea.
Oh, settle on a name then.
You're either very impatient or extremely sure of yourself.
Bit of a change up there, huh?
Yeah, again, I don't know what that means. I don't play cricket.
It's my card. I feel like you will need it.
You know what? I think I'm good. So thank you for this.
It's nice to meet you, David.
Yeah.
Okay, Teresa, remember to breathe.
There's just some photography in the background. I have no idea what's going on with that photography. I could go on with that, what happens later in that episode as they reunite and talk about the business more and more. But
This was nice because I've forgotten how they actually met, so this was nice.
yeah, again, I had to like go back and research all of these moments because they also did not immediately come to my mind. But I picked that one because it was just like, I mean, obviously, you know, David in that moment is just kind of caught up in trying to figure out his business, but like Patrick and his interaction with him is just so cute. Like the way he's clearly being like playful with him, but David, it's not like it's kind of like not even processing what's happening. But it's very characteristic of their whole like dynamic with each other, and it's cute that they're kind of like right off the bat that back and forth quip was there with them, even with David being in like a confused state of mind at that point, which like the scene immediately after that, he's just kind of like talking to Stevie about how this guy completely shut down his business idea and thinks that the whole thing is a failure, and I don't know, and all these things that he did not say. And Stevie's just like, I think you're overthinking it a little bit. But
he always does.
Yeah. But especially from Patrick's end, the way he talks to David in that whole scene is just really adorable to watch back, because the funny thing about Patrick is like their whole dynamic obviously is like they're both very sarcastic and very, you know, like snide with each other in the way that they talk to each other. But it's funny because, you know, David's whole personality was always that. Like he was the snarky one. It's why I love him so much. Like he's got all the snark and it's amazing. But it's funny because when you watch that scene and when you watch like all the scenes with Patrick afterwards, like Patrick is not someone that you would initially, when you think of him, like snarkiness doesn't come to mind. Like you're like, he's just like such a sweet and loving and caring, open-hearted person. But he is super snarky, like in the way that he talks, but he manages to be snarky in the most like loving way that it almost doesn't even come across as snark. And like that whole scene, he just met David, and the whole time he's being snarky with him and just kind of like being playful and almost like low-key making fun of him. And obviously David picks up on that, but at the same time is confused because it's like a flirty making fun of him. I don't know. Yeah. But it's just it's adorable because it just like I was watching it and I was thinking about it and I was like, you know, I never even like until I rewatched it and paid closer attention, it never occurred to me how deeply, deeply snarky his comments are all the time when he's talking to David. But it's just like I've never met someone who's able to do snark in such a like adorably loving way.
Yeah, he does it really well. My scene is a little bit different than that, so you guys will be the judge. But
Have I seen this scene?
I don't think so. I don't think you got to the third season.
No, I think I stopped at season 2.
Okay.
All right. Let's see.
So it's from, you will know it. Hold on.
Well, I know who the couple is.
Yes.
Not surprised you picked this couple. Wait, I thought this was their meet cute moment.
Yeah, so I have to explain a little bit because it's a little bit confusing. But by this point, he has gone back in time. He's changed the timeline. So that
Wait, I think I have seen this.
You have?
I think so.
Well, I'm going to play it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see it again.
Yeah. So he knows her, but she does not know he exists whatsoever. So
wait, is this taking place in a different timeline, or is this the same?
Yes, it's a different timeline. But
okay.
Yeah. And
sorry guys, the confusion of watching Supernatural.
Yeah, it is. But this is basically because there's so many timelines, or there's one main timeline, but the show does do different timelines, and the whole idea is that regardless of the timeline, they're always like finding each other.
Wait, hold on. Sorry.
Things.
Yeah. Is this an alternate timeline or an alternate universe?
It's an alternate timeline.
Okay.
They do have an alternate universe one too, but that's different.
Yeah, that's why I'm like
No,
confused.
this is not the one. I think I know what you're talking about, but it's not that one.
Okay, let's just play it.
Okay.
All right. let's
Okay.
see. Oh, look at him preparing himself. So cute. I love how nervous he looks.
Excuse me. Sorry, is this yours? I think maybe you dropped it. It was just right. Dropped it, or I don't know what happened, but
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't even realize I dropped it. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wait, I've seen you before, haven't I?
We actually went to elementary school together. You don't remember me? PS23?
I swear I feel
Oh
like
my
I've
gosh.
seen this scene.
Yes, I remember. Gary, right.
Barry.
Gary.
Allen, it's fine.
Sorry,
It's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah, no, we had Mr.
Mr. Hinckley.
yes.
Yeah, from that. Yeah, he used to always hit the chalkboard with his
His fist, and all the dust would come flying off. He looked just like
peanuts. Yeah, that's
Yes. How are you?
really good. Yeah, I'm CSI. I work over at CCPD.
Yeah, my dad works there too. He's a detective.
Yeah, I see him sometimes. I don't really know him, but I see him in passing.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks again. I guess you're my hero today.
Glad I could be there for you.
Ask her.
You know what? Would you want to get a coffee? I mean, I know you're having a coffee right now. I meant like at a different time with me. Or it doesn't even have to be a coffee. It can be any kind of beverage, like a wine or beer. Not that I want to get you drunk. We can get iced tea. Do you like iced tea? Would you want to get an iced tea with me?
Yes.
Yeah?
I would like to get an iced tea with you.
Okay.
Barry Allen, you're very cute. You know that?
Yeah.
But you should try talking just a little bit slower.
Speed has always been my problem.
Aw.
So I picked that scene because,
Cute.
like I said before, it's very cute. It is so superhero tropey in general because good superhero romances tend to have the best qualities of like romances, which is why I think sci-fi romances are often the best in general.
Wait, expand on that. Why do you think that?
Well, because in terms of like superheroes, you've got Barry and Iris, you've got Lois and Clark, who are like an iconic power couple, and you've got like just several like Batman and Catwoman, even though people don't necessarily think of them first, but they're like a big deal. And it's just in general like this idea, at least with Barry and Iris, like there's an idea of them sort of being each other's anchor, like no matter what happens in the world is like kind of crazy and a lot of things go on, that they're always kind of like tethered to each other in some sort of way. And in this scene specifically, like even though the timeline changed and it's a little bit of a cheat because Barry already knows who she is, obviously, but you'll see like later on in the episode, she's like, oh, well, I don't really just say yes to like any random guy who just like approaches me in a coffee shop or whatever. So this was like a nice meet cute because it like reestablishes their relationship in this timeline and kind of gives us a meet cute because like the show from the very beginning introduces them. They have already known each other most of their lives. They've been friends since elementary school, like you said. So it's like kind of in a roundabout way, the show gives fans like all of the romantic tropes at different points in time, regardless of like what it is, what's going on. So this was like really cute. It sort of has like their nice flirtation because this is also like the season where they get together later on. And it's just like a reminder of like how sunshiny they can be together, which is really super cute. And it's like a moment where he's just like, he's really nervous and he's trying to approach her even if he does know her. So it's just a nice, memorable moment for their relationship.
Memorable.
Memorable, yes.
Very memorable. Yeah, I definitely have seen it before. So I guess I stopped in season 3, not season 2. But yeah, like I will give you that is a very cute moment, but I would also say that that's a little bit cheating.
Hey.
Like you said, they did actually know each other beforehand, and the fact that it's an alternate timeline is kind of a cheat.
Yes. But in this instance, you know how you were talking about like going back to flashbacks of how people met when they were like younger. This is sort
Yeah.
of like this is what would have happened had he not like continued being friends with her, and also sort of giving us a way into their history because they don't really talk much about elementary school in
Yeah.
general. So you're kind of like getting both of that at the same time.
I agree. It was cute. It was done well. Even if you don't know their history and stuff, like, you know, is just the interaction of like, you can tell how nervous he is, but how much he cares already, and it's just I think, you know, the reason that that scene had the ability to be as cute as it was because it had 3 years of build up where you're obviously already invested in their relationship. So I think most meet cutes don't have the luxury and benefit of having that, you know, it's sort of like what we were talking about with our friendship. Like, we can look back on it and be like, that was a cute moment because we have the relationship we have now in order to look back on it. But in the moment, you know,
Right, but that's why I brought like TV,
Yeah.
because the moments are a lot better to me because they're already established and you're already invested, versus like in a movie, which we can get to like in a later video, but it's that they meet, but you know that they're gonna end up together, but you know, you don't really know how it's gonna go, or in the aftermath, you don't know that they're gonna stay together after the credits roll. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
you know that these people have already been in each other's lives, they're going to continue being in each other's lives, and so like this meet cute is just giving people, like viewers, like another chance to see them from a different angle. So that's really
Yeah. And like you said, with superhero shows, it has the benefit of being able, and just supernatural shows in general, or like, because they're so dramatic all the time, the world is always ending. So it's like you have the benefit of creating epic relationships that, you know, are able to really be tested and also able to be tethered to multiple realities in a way that an average show can't get away with. So you can kind of get away with being like, oh, they're so epic and so meant to be, that no matter what happens or no matter what reality they're in and what universe they're in or what world they're in, they're always meant for each other. And that just makes the whole relationship seem even deeper when it's done well.
Exactly.
I can agree with that, but I also think that the opposite is true as well. That because the universe is the way that it is, when the relationships are done badly, it's like really terrible.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
So it's kind of hit and miss there.
That's very true. Well,
It's great.
Yes, thank you so much for watching our videos. Please let us know if you actually enjoyed them, and comment on which one you prefer and why, and also like which meet cutes have resonated with you. And until next time, goodbye.
Also, sorry, like, comment, subscribe. Also, and let us know what other videos you guys want us to make, what kind of things you want us to show you and share with each other. This was one where we both happened to have already seen both of these shows. Well, but I did not continue with Flash. Maybe I need to do that. I don't know. But you guys let us know which ones were your favorites, and let us know what other videos you want us to make. So we'll be back with another show and share video next time. But until then, take care. We'll see you guys in the next video.
Stay safe. Bye.